Oh. No way. Okay. Bring a charge.
Yeah, great. We'll have you on headset, but just so I can call out what I need from you. Like, a little more, there's just a little more to it. So I might need Thank you. I closed last night, so I didn't get up till 2, and I was like, oh, I forgot to turn my iPad off this. So, appreciate it.
Because I never know what the status of my charge is on my iPhone.
Yeah.
I don't use it for broadcasts.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the first of the day coin toss. Players official, referee Steve Heyman, umpire Ken Scott, head linesman Emily Howard, line judge Nick Weber, field judge David DeLow, side judge Keith Verdonky, and back judge DJ Randall. Preparing today's team captains. Tonight's captains for the prize are number 18, Nathan Morrison, number 3, Corey Davis, number 1, Will Kessel, number 3, Andrew Irvin. Representing the Knights are number 16, Devin Watson, number 1, Jamar Robinson, number 37, Andrew Bingham, number 30, President Law, number 22, Mike Adams, number 13, Henry Audette. Southern hitting has one toss, will defer. If Greensboro, you'll receive. Descend to the field, please. Gentlemen, shake hands. We'll play football.
We watch for referee. But if we start at the same time, I'll just stop and you keep going. All right, it's just the easiest thing because I'm like, so I'm like, train planes or whatever. We both like to stop. When we start, I'll just stop. You just go.
Yeah.
And then even if the lockup goes over, it's fine. Just finish your thought. And you can even up to
Welcome to the field, your Southern Virginia University Knights. In accordance with tradition at Southern Virginia University, we will begin with a word of prayer, which will be offered by Grace Pritchett, the Southern Virginia University cheer captain.
All the wonderful blessings that thou hast given to us. We're so thankful for this university and for the opportunity that we're able to play ball today. I pray for the players, for their safety. I pray for the refs, and I pray for everyone else here today. I pray that we may have a good day, that we may remember thee in all that we do and say. We love thee, Heavenly Father, and again we're grateful for thee. And we say these things to thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Now, if you will all please rise, remove your hats, and face the flag. Performing today's national anthem is Miranda Sexton.
Oh, sleep when you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Knight Stadium on the campus of Southern Virginia University in beautiful Buena Vista, Virginia. I'm Colby Camp, and today joining me in the booth will be Hank Swedeen. Hank, it's a beautiful afternoon here in Buena Vista, and everybody is excited as the 3-0 Southern Virginia football team hosts Greensboro College in USA South Conference opener for both teams. Hank, how do you feel about the excitement around this Knight football team that is off to the best start in program history at 3-0?
Yeah, Colby, I think everything's just going real good for this team right now. They're humming on defense. They're connected on offense, working in unity. It's been real fun to watch. And I think in comparison to the last couple of years, we've got a team that's really committed. They're really involved and bought into this program and to what they can accomplish this year. It's exciting to see.
No, absolutely. It's brought a lot of excitement here to campus. You know, football program at a college is always something that brings the excitement and unites the university. So a whole lot of excitement here. You mentioned the defense. You know, this is the third-rated defense in the country as far as points per game given up, at just under 7 a game.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. It's those turnovers, right? They're winning the turnover battle big time on defense. On offense, they've only thrown 1 interception the last 3 games, which is really big, and just keeping the offense on the field and giving that defense time to rest.
Scott DePay kicks off. Greensboro will get on the return. There's a little bit of a room there. He gets a block, and Scott DePay started the game off with the kickoff, and Scott is the one that is able to bring down the returner for Greensboro College.
Yeah, just a little disconnected there by SVU's kickoff team. Just not coming up as one whole line there in the middle, and you know, a couple good blocks and they can break that.
Mitrand Curry was the returner for the Pride. takes them out to midfield, and that is where they will start their first possession. Got quarterback Chase Altus leading the offense for Greensboro. He's going to give that a run to Curry Dykes.
Yep, just starting that with a nice little run up the middle, get that established. Expecting them to set up the pass, but running's where they're going to stick to it for now. And I think that's where Southern Virginia's really got to step up in the trenches, right?
It was a gain of 3, so 2nd and 7 in the shotgun. Double reverse and a flea flicker, and they have a receiver open in the flat.
Wow, a little trickeration to start off. Creative from Greensboro, that's real fun. Get Southern Virginia on the back foot and drive to start the game real good.
Completion goes to Cameron Torrance Kelly, the running back. He was brought down.
Yeah, I
by
mean,
Kelly Marcus, or my bad, that is Tony Napper on the tackle for SVU. 1st and 10.
yeah, looking at the stats from the last 3 games, it seems that passing attack has been somewhere that Greensboro has really struggled. And with that defense, keys being for Southern Virginia winning the turnover battle, that's where they can take advantage. So that little trickeration can open things up for the Greensboro passing attack and really help them in an area that they've struggled so far this season.
Cameron Turner on the carry, gain of 5, and there's a Greensboro player down.
I think this is a big turning point for this quarter. Start of the game, right? Momentum's in Greensboro's half right now. I mean, look for Southern Virginia to really just buck up and try and make a tough physical stand, try and get the ball back.
It's always interesting, we mentioned this being the conference opener for both squads. And you look at the records, you look at the statistics, there's no common opponents, so everything's on paper right now. Now you get out onto the field and try and play it out. And so far this first possession, Knights have struggled a little bit making the tackles, as Greensboro got a good kick return, and now they've marched down the field, and they are currently at the 9-yard line. 2nd and 5. Altus back on the field. Gives it on the give, looking for the edge. And the Knights will bring him down. Spike Adams on the tackle.
I like what Greensboro's doing. They're spreading the field, trying to get out wide, just open some space and try and find a way into the end zone to start the game.
So they do get the first down. It'll be 1st and goal, Greensboro at the 4. Altus with Dykes in the backfield. There's the give to Dykes, and he is met at the line of scrimmage.
There we go.
Is number 1.
And here's where we see that tough physical Knight defense come in, right? They're on their, Greensboro's knocking on the doorstep. This is SVU's chance to just get in there and do everything they can to stop it. And I mean, this is where they excel, right? Like you said, their defense is top tier, and I think it'll be fun to watch this series as it comes to a close.
Jamar Robinson on the tackle. Timeout on the field. I don't believe either team called time, just Coach Tyler Card of Greensboro looking for an explanation. Looks like we'll get an explanation from the referee.
Prior play, the teams had the wrong number. It should have been 1st down. So now it's 2nd down and goal. 2nd down and goal.
So they're actually correcting the down. So it'll be 2nd and goal. Altus looks like he's going under center with Torrance Kelly in the backfield. On a give, and the Knight defense is right there to stack up the ball carrier.
Yeah, this Greensboro, I mean, they're trying reverses and stretching it out and just trying to get tricky here in the first quarter, in the first, 5 minutes. Good job by those interior defensive linemen having an eye on that and being able to plug that hole before he was able to get into the end zone.
Shamar Privet had the carry. Quick snap and the give to Torrance Kelly, and he is stacked up short of the goal line, and that will bring up a 4th and goal for Greensboro. It looks like they are sending out what looks to be their kicking team. Kicker number 29, Reagan Sawyer, on to attempt what is going to be an 18-yard field goal.
They've only attempted one other field goal before this season, so.
Snap is down. And the kick is good, so Greensboro goes down the field on their initial drive and puts 3 points up on the board. But all in all, Hank, I think SVU will take the win, as they were in a 1st and goal from the 4-yard line, and their defense was able to hold up and hold them to just a field goal.
Yeah, especially that 3rd down play. I mean, that was huge by the defense. A big hit on defense that coming around the edge and stopped him in his tracks there on the 2 or 3. Set up that field goal, and superficially that looks good for Greensboro. Get points on the board first, but we'll see how this game plays out.
I'm sure Greensboro's happy to put the points up on the board. Maybe a little disappointed to not come away with 7 there, but nonetheless they were able to cap that drive with a field goal by Sawyer. So now it'll be the Knights getting the ball for the first time.
We'll see if they can reciprocate on that first kickoff of the game. We'll get some big yardage here.
Stevie Leo back to receive along with Roger Adam for the Knights. Sawyer doing all the kicking for Greensboro. And the Knights will look up to set a return here on this kickoff. It'll be Leo from the 5. And he is stacked up and brought down at what appears to be the 22-yard line of Southern Virginia, and that is where Devin Watson will lead the offense out onto the field, and they'll begin their first drive of their USA South Conference opener.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, Watson's only thrown 1 interception this season. Really good way to start out, but this Greensboro defense isn't something to overlook. They've forced 5 interceptions in the last 3 games. That's more than 1 a game. So this defense could be a tough challenge for Watson.
With the pitch to Mills, and Mills is brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Knights have done a good job mixing it up on offense this season. Many different ball carriers and many different receivers catching passes. Watson in the shotgun. He'll look to throw. He's got Adet over the middle. And that'll be a first down for Southern Virginia out to their 40-yard line.
Wide open in the middle of the field. It looks like he just got his foot caught on that catch, and he might have had an extra 10, 15 yards, but a great play by the Knights.
First down, SVU. Watson. Fumble the exchange between him and Mills. Watson able to fall on it.
That looked like it could have been a RPO, a read pass option, just a little bit mix up in that handoff there.
Marcus Solers and Mills both flanking Watson, who is in the shotgun. Another RPO, miscommunication, and Watson again able to fall on it and keep possession for SVU, and they'll be in a 3rd down and long here.
I mean, not ideal, but still early in the game, right? Looking to right the wrongs here. You know, they're not too far on their own end of the field, so they could look to air it out right now.
Solers into motion. Watson with a throw to Lackey, and he is hit. And pass interference will be called on Greensboro. So this is going to result in a 1st down. Lackey had some space there, and the throw looked to be pretty good. And Greensboro got there just a little early.
Yeah, I mean, once again, opening the middle of the field, that's going to be Greensboro's weakness right now in the pass game. But if that PI, you know, without that pass interference, he looks like he would have caught that in stride.
No, it looked to be a well-thrown ball and a good route. So Knights will have 1st down at the Greensboro 49-yard line. The give to Mills. And Mills is going to gain maybe 2 yards on 1st down.
Brought down at the 27-yard line. Second down for the Knights.
2nd and 8. Quick pass. Out in the flat. It looks like that will be enough for a 1st down. That's out to Isaiah Maxey.
Yeah, these quick passes looking to work for the Knights. We'll see if they keep going to it. I mean, he's an empty right now, so looking good.
Watson had Audette wide open over the middle and just overthrew Audette. That looked like that could have been 6 right there.
Yeah, 1 for 3 in the middle of the field so far. A completion, a pass interference, and just a little bit overthrown. I guess you could call that 2 for 3.
Yeah, pass interference. That doesn't go against the completion percentage, definitely. But as you mentioned, it looks like that middle of the field's going to be open there, at least in the interim. There's a give to Solers. Solers looking to get to the edge, and he is brought down after no gain.
Brought down at the 38-yard line, no gain.
Tackle made there by Alan Redford. Redford's a freshman. 3rd and 10. And Watson, another completion. This one goes to Jalen Lackey. 1st and 10 for the Knights at the 26-yard line of Greensboro. Solers up the middle. He's going to fall forward. Looks like he'll have a gain of 4.
Yeah, Solers, I mean, he's the bell cow for this Knight offense. Good, tough running. You know, most of the time he doesn't get those big breakaway runs, but he sets up that pass offense that we've seen that's been so deadly.
Watson going to the corner and defended well there. That was a good battle there. Pass was intended there for MJ Laws.
Third and medium here. The way that the lane's been going, I'm going to guess they're going to try and swing it out wide, get a nice quick pass off. Just try and get the 1st down here, not quite a touchdown.
Watson looks to throw. He's got a man. And just over the top, and once again, there's a pass interference. Just as the ball was getting to, that is number 1, Jarique Washington for Southern Virginia. and he was grabbed. So the Knights are going to have first and goal here, Hank, on their first possession. Looks like it'll be first and goal from about the 5-yard line.
Yeah, this has been a really good drive. It's been long. They've been chewing up the clock. You know, that last play was definitely touchdown worthy. The senior out of Orange, Virginia, he was there just off the fingertips.
Ball's placed at the 7-yard line. Watson. With the give to Mills. He's got some room. Mills going to the corner, and that's a touchdown, Southern Virginia. Antoine Mills with a 7-yard run for the touchdown.
Yeah, I really like that play. I don't think it was quite as they planned. They had that wing back in the backfield, that motion to cross, and that the Greensboro defense followed that wing back and plugged that up. But, I mean, great vision to be able to cut it back and find the end zone there.
Yeah, it looked like he may have had a hole there inside the line, but he bounced it to the outside and went into the end zone untouched. And the extra point is up and good.
There is a flag on the play, so we'll see what they call here.
Awaiting the explanation from the referee. So running into the kicker penalty, which is declined by SVU. So SVU, after giving up a field goal on the opening drive by Greensboro, the offense comes onto the field and takes it 78 yards and puts 7 up on the board.
Yeah, I mean, that first drive wasn't ideal for the defense, but, you know, they didn't break. They just bent a little bit. So looking for them to be all hyped up on this next one. They really want to get revenge, I think. I mean, I would. They've done a really good job this season. They had a shutout their last game, the SVU defense, so something to take pride in, and, you know, any points on the board is something that they don't want.
Yeah, you mentioned, you know, Greensboro, they moved the ball pretty well there, and then the defense really buckled down when they had that first and goal. So it'll be interesting to see if they gain that momentum and made some adjustments as Greensboro awaits the kickoff for their second possession here this first quarter. 6 minutes, 32 seconds left. Greensboro on the return, and this time he is stacked up. That's Sincere McIntyre.
Much better job by the kickoff team on this one. I mean, they swarmed the returner, and there was a little bit of bobble in the backfield there on that reception when he fielded that, but nothing major. Just good kick, gave the kick team plenty of time to get down there and cover it.
Caden Jeter of Greensboro limped off the field there. Hopefully he'll be okay. Greensboro will begin this possession at their own 23-yard line. Altus with a quick pass. That is caught. And looks like that will go for a first down. Reception made again there by Privet.
Good start by this Greensboro passing offense that, you know, usually averages about just under 200 yards a game, about 5 yards per attempt. So, I mean, they're moving the ball good, passing it. We'll see if they continue that or they switch to the run game here.
First and 10. Another quick pass to Privet. And he is pushed out of bounds by the Knight defenders.
Yeah, that last formation by Greensboro kind of had me scratching my head. They didn't have anybody on this close side of the field. All three wide receivers were on the left side, and so was their running back. That said, pretty good gain, 3 yards on that. But
2nd and 7. Another pass to the near side this time. And that is Ty Smith, quick to make the tackle. And that will lose the 3 yards they gained on the previous play, and that will put Greensboro in 3rd and 10. And an opportunity here for the Southern Virginia defense to get the ball back with a big stop here on 3rd and 10. Altus flushed out of the pocket. He's got a receiver over the middle, and that will be a 1st down.
Great move by Altus to just step up in the pocket there, just buy a little bit of time, let his receivers find something in that zone coverage.
Reception made by Trey Jones. Good play made there by Altus, finding Jones for the 1st down. Ball is now on the 49-yard line of Southern Virginia. Altus with the give to Torrance Kelly, and he is brought down for a loss of 1. Ty Smith.
Ty Smith all over the backfield today so far. I mean, big part of that top-ranked defense in the nation. And he's definitely having an impact here early on.
He's got, looks like 2 tackles for loss on this possession alone. 2nd and 11. There's another give, and that'll go up the middle for about 5 yards. That's Curry Dykes with the carry.
That's a good tough run by Dykes. I mean, just what they need in this situation. Makes it 3rd and medium, gives Greensboro some more options to try and get the 1st down here.
So 3rd down, 5 yards to go. Ball on the 39-yard line of SVU. Play clock winding down. Greensboro snaps the ball to give to Dykes. And depending on the spot, it looks like he is near the 1st down.
I mean, almost identical as that 2nd down play, right? Just a straight run up the middle, a good tough run, 5 yards on each of those plays, gets them the 1st down. They've kind of been shying away from that early on. They've been trying to air it out, do some tricky stuff, but it looks like they might be switching here to the run game, and it's working for them.
1st and 10 from the Knight 34, Altus in the shotgun. Looking downfield, and he gets a short. He dumps it off for a short completion to Dykes, and there's a flag on the play. 2 flags.
Looks like it might be holding here in the backfield, and then something to do with that tackle on the far side there.
I believe there may have been a face mask on the tackle. Be interesting if they do get a hold here. That would offset the penalties.
The fouls by both teams. Holding, offense number 68. Personal foul, face mask, defense number 1. Those penalties offset, replay, 2nd half.
So there was an offensive hold by Greensboro and the face mask on Southern Virginia. So we will replay 3rd and 5.
Yeah, this defensive line's really pressuring Altus in the backfield. That's the 2nd time he's had to step up in this quarter. They haven't quite gotten to them yet, but Altus is feeling that pressure.
Actually, 1st and 10. They got the 1st down on the previous play. So Altus Again, looking downfield. He's chased, and he'll go down. He is brought down there by number 95 of SVU. That's the freshman Traden Henderson from right here in Buena Vista.
Just like I was saying, that defensive line, they're getting pressure in there.
Yeah, the previous play where the hold was called, they were able to get to some pressure. Likely the reason for the hold, and this time Henderson was able to elude the offensive line and bring Altus down. That'll be a loss of 8. So 2nd and 18 for Greensboro. Altus in the shotgun. Torrance Kelly in motion. He goes back across the field. He's got a man. That is Privet, and Privet is brought down just inside the 20-yard line.
Now that is exactly what you want to see out of a wide receiver screen play. He had the tunnel, he had the blockers, and then he had the space to make a move and get some more yards on his own, which he did. Great footwork there to get that first down.
Yeah, they set motion to the near side, and they made the wide receiver screen to the far side and had their blockers set up. So 1st and 10, ball on the 20-yard line of SVU. Altus is looking to run, and he's going to gain 6 yards. And that brings us to the end of the first quarter. So we come back, it'll be 2nd and about 4 yards for Greensboro at the SVU 14. At the end of the first quarter, you have Southern Virginia leading Greensboro by a score of 7-3. Welcome back, ready for the second quarter. Greensboro currently trailing, but they are driving. They have 2nd down and 4 at the 14-yard line of SVU. Altus with the give. And tackle made there by the Knights. That's number 22, Spike Adams. And that run will be a 1st down, so it will be 1st and goal, Greensboro, at the SVU 10-yard line. Altus brings his offense to the line. Quick pass. That is caught by Trey Jones, and he is brought down after a gain to the 4-yard line of SVU. So Hank, got to look here for the defense to come up big here for SVU once again.
Looking for them to replicate what they did on that last defensive drive. Just to bend, not break.
2nd and 4. And Curry Dykes carries and is brought down for no gain, it looks. So it'll be 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line, Hank, as Greensboro looks. They want to punch it in, and SVU is trying to hold them to another field goal.
Yeah, I mean, earlier in the game, they've done some tricky stuff. I wouldn't, I don't think they're going to shy away from that here. They're going to do everything they can to get into the end zone after being stopped once.
We'll see what they dial up. Altus rolling, looking, and overthrows the receiver in the end zone. He was under pressure once again from Henderson.
Yeah, trying to set up that play action, just create a little bit of misdirection and hopefully get some space there on the edge. It was there, but it would have taken a real good throw to get that touchdown.
So Henderson and Connor Owens giving the pressure on Altus. And it looks like Greensboro is going to at least line it up here. 4th and goal from the 4. And now Coach Tyler Card is going to ask for a timeout. And they're going to discuss their options here.
I mean, it's still early in the game. You're only down by 4. You've made 1 field goal already. I think I would take the points here.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough call. You've seen where, your defense wasn't able to, stop, a long drive by SVU on their first possession. Now you've gone the length of the field. I understand both sides. Get the points. You want to pay this drive off with some points. On the flip side, Coach Card may be thinking that he can't trade field goals for touchdowns, too often throughout this game.
Yep, this is the head coach's dilemma, right? Seems at every level, no matter what you do here, somebody's going to be upset with the decision you made. Some people are going to be happy with the decision you made.
And it looks like Altus bringing that offense back out onto the field. So it looks like the decision's been made to go for it.
I think looking for them to come out left right here again, that one-on-one matchup.
And Altus looking to throw. He's got a man in the corner through his hands, and that will fall incomplete. And SVU will take over on downs at their own 4-yard line. So another good defensive stand by Southern Virginia once Greensboro drove deep into their territory. And now the Knights will face a little bit of a challenge offensively as they're going to have to take over from their own 4-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, that play was a good play, but that defensive line, once again, putting pressure, making him make a rushed throw that, wasn't quite there. I think that's been the story of the game so far, just that defensive line putting pressure on.
Well, once again, Coach DePay's defense comes up big on 3rd and 4th down. And now Watson looks to get started. High snap, Watson's able to bring it down. He's going to bring it out of the end zone. So rough snap there, but I think Watson made the wise decision to just pull that down and get what he could, avoid the safety.
Yeah, not ideal way to start deep in your own territory.
Watson with a quick pass. That is caught by Lackey for a short gain, but gives the Knights a little bit more room to operate. That's out to the 7-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and 7, SVU. Watson over the middle, and his receiver, that's Scott DePay, just slipped down. He had him open. Also may have been, the pass may have been thrown just a little behind DePay as well.
Yep, and credit that to the Greensboro defensive line. In turn, this time putting some pressure on. Just a rough start to that drive. Bad snap, taking a tackle for a loss.
Back to punt for the Knights, number 6, Alex Passy.
So Alex Passy will come on. This is the first punt of the game here. The Pride defense holds. Passy gets it away. There will be a return here, and he will bring it back to the 26-yard line of the Knights.
At the 26-yard line.
Javian Carr on the return. Looks like there is a penalty flag on the play, so we will await the call from the referee.
Return, holding, number 24. 10 yards from the end of the run. First down.
So holding on Greensboro on that return. That will negate at least part of that return.
Greensboro's special teams is looking really good right now. That punt return, that first kick return of the half of the game, really eating up space and putting their offense in a good position. Just, you know, little penalties like that can hurt.
No, it will hurt them a little bit. They, rather than starting at the 26 of Southern Virginia, they will now start at the 36. Good field position nonetheless for Greensboro as they start this drive. Altus running the option, and the Knights snuff that out, and Spike Adams makes the tackle. Altus, though, gains 4 yards on the run.
Our first time seeing the option in this game. Fun way to stretch out the field, try and find some holes and some space.
No, Altus looked like he wasn't going to get anything, but he was able to cut it back at the last minute. Kind of a slow developing play, and he gains 4 yards. And Greensboro is going to have to spend their second timeout of the half.
Timeout. Greensboro, the second timeout of the half.
Looked like there may have been some confusion as the play that was called. As the play clock wound down, Coach Card decided to spend a second timeout here in this quarter.
Yeah, something that's really been sticking out to me so far in this game is Altus's play. I mean, through the season, he's about a 50% completion percentage, but he's playing really good today. 9 attempts, 7 completions. That's a 77.8% completion percentage, 95 yards. I mean, he's playing really good, really helping this team move downfield and just creating plays like that where there's nothing and he's able to get 3, 4, 5 yards out of it.
No, his completion percentage coming in wasn't looking all that great, but like you said, 7 for 9. The result, you know, some short passes, high percentage, and now he's under some pressure, but he's able to get out of the pocket. Flag goes down. Traden Henderson makes the stop, but I think we're going to see an offensive holding here on this flag.
Holding, offense number 65. 10-yard penalty, Greensboro second down.
So that will be a hold on Greensboro.
It's unfortunate because Altus, once again, doing a great job moving around. I mean, dipping, ducking, dodging, those defensive linemen coming through the line and just to create something for this offense.
So second down and 16 to go for this Greensboro offense. Altus and his pass is knocked down at the line of scrimmage. It was either Traden Henderson or Kavika Bringhurst.
Looked like Kavika Bringhurst to me. I mean, just right in the quarterback's face, able to get those arms up, and now Greensboro's got 3rd and long.
Knights defense will be looking to dig in right here. This would be a great stop for them. backing Greensboro up after they began this possession at the 36-yard line. Altus looking deep. And that is complete along the sideline. Number 10, KJ Brown.
Yeah, KJ Brown, receiver out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Great catch, great body control. I mean, that was a little bit of a duck headed out there to him from the quarterback, but, I mean, he did a great job of adjusting to bring it down.
Yeah, that ball seemed to hang in the air a long time. Unfortunately for SVU, I don't think either of the defenders got their head turned around quite in time to try and make a play on that. With the give. And that's Kewan Westmoreland. He's actually their leading rusher on the season. And that was his first carry of the game. A gain of 2. Second and 8 from the 13-yard line. A fake, and Altus gets hit as he throws across the middle. The ball goes incomplete. That could have been a dangerous throw right there.
Yeah, I mean, you saw there's 3-4 SVU defenders right there. A rush throw. I think the play was still developing, which is why they weren't able to pick that off or make a play on it. But this Greensboro offensive line is struggling with the Knight defense. Just big push up front. They're getting through. They're putting pressure on.
Now the Knights defensive line rather, able to make a push. Altus going to the end zone. He's got a man, and that will be a touchdown, Greensboro. Ball caught in the end zone. That's number 4, Shamar Privet.
That was a similar pass to the one we saw on the far sideline. Just seemed to hang up there in the air, but Privet with great space, great release there. Gave him plenty of time to get under that there in the corner.
Yeah, once that throw went up, it was in the air a long time, but you could see that he had the space. He'd been able to get that separation. Sawyer now on for the extra point. And that is blocked. And Greensboro is able to fall on that to prevent the Knights making an attempt to return the block kick. So the score will go 9-7 Greensboro.
I mean, even special teams, that defensive line putting pressure on. But Greensboro doing a great job just figuring out, getting around that, finding out what's working for them right now. Able to strike back after a fourth down stop. They weren't able to get in the end zone. Defense comes out, put up a good strong defensive series against SVU, force the 3 and out, and get their offense back on the field and going.
That's one thing, both scoring possessions for Greensboro have started. The first one started at the 40, basically at midfield, and then that one was at the 36-yard line of Southern Virginia. So they've done a good job in field possession.
Special teams making an impact.
Stevie Leo will return, and he will bring it out to the 25-yard line before he is brought down. He's brought down.
Brought down at the 25-yard line. First down for the Knights.
So Devin Watson will bring his offense out onto the field as they begin this possession from their own 25-yard line. 5 minutes, 31 seconds left in the half. Watson with a short pass. It falls incomplete, intended for Sollers. Greensboro with good coverage.
Watson 4 for 8 now on the day. It's just little things to me is what it looks like. Just a little overthrown, little underthrown. Just got to dial it in and they'll be moving the ball.
Watson carries up the middle, and he is met there by 2 Pride defensive players and brought down for a gain of 2. Jordan Bennett and Deshaun Holman there with the tackle. So Hank, a little bit of a big third down here. Knights would love to keep this possession alive. Antoine Mills with the reception, and he battles his way out to the 32-yard line, and the Knights are going to have a 3rd and 3, or 4th and 3 rather. Looks like the offense is staying on the field.
And that's just what they're looking for right there.
The Knights are able to get the Greensboro defense to jump offside.
And that's huge for this offense, right? Going 2 3 and outs in a row can be devastating for your morale going forward. So to be able to get a first down here, stay on the field, getting close to midfield here, that's good for the Knights.
Sure, Coach Card's frustrated by that, extending this drive for the Knights. Watson's pass will come up short, intended for Washington.
Yep, just put under pressure there, throw on the run. Just a little too low for his receiver to get it.
Knights offense, last 2 possessions, looking just a little bit out of sorts. Look for them to make some adjustments here. They want to continue this possession. Watson with the read option. And he gets around the corner. Looks like he's going to have a gain of about 8 yards.
Yeah, like we've said before, defensively, that's going to be the strong suit of Greensboro.
3rd and 3. Ended up giving him a gain of 7 on that run. 43-yard line of SVU. Watson with a quick pass out wide. And Greensboro plays that well. Looks like no gain. Javen Ball on the reception. Even a loss of 1, it looks like, Hank. So 4th and 4 coming up.
SVU's 1 for 1 on 4th down attempts today, I believe.
Play clock running down. Doesn't look like SVU is going to snap this ball as Coach DePay signals for timeout. So timeout, 6 minutes, 34 seconds left.
Yeah, Mark Murdoch, offensive coordinator for the Knights. He's having quite the tug-of-war battle with Greensboro defensive coordinator Maurice Terrain. Maurice Terrain, he's been on the staff for 6 years, same amount of time as Tyler Card, so you have to think that they're pretty in sync with what they want for the defense. Mark Murdoch, this is his 2nd year as offensive coordinator. He's also one of the associate head coaches. He's done a really good job with this Knight offense. They've been producing, they've been scoring. Off to a little bit of a slow start today, but look to turn that around in a big 4th down conversion. If they go for it here, 2 in a row, that could really turn things around, get momentum back for the Knights.
So the Knights come out, and it looks like Alex Passy is on the field. So Knights have elected to punt here in this 4th and 4. At least we'll say they're lining up to punt. Passy gets the kick away. It's a good kick. Sends the returner all the way back, but it hits, and it's a Greensboro bounce there, goes into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, so Greensboro will begin this possession on their own 20-yard line, which I believe is going to be their worst starting position of the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is, unfortunate it bounced out at the back of the end zone, but this is good for the Knights. You know, they're in the Greensboro side of the field. Defensively, if they can put up a stand, it'll put them in a good spot for their offense to get back on the field.
No, right now I'm sure, that defense, had a little bit of a rest there, and I'm sure there was a lot of talk about just kind of buckling down a little bit, preventing some of those bigger plays from happening. Altus in the shotgun with the give. And that's going to go for, it looks like 4 yards, maybe 5.
Yeah, the last series, SVU did a great job of just holding them, getting to the 3rd or, 2nd and long.
Pass out wide. And the receiver is brought down after a 1st down. Sincere McIntyre with the reception.
Greensboro seems to be running a tempo offense right now, just trying to go quick, catch the Knights off on their back foot.
Altus with another short pass. Once again, that is Sincere McIntyre with the catch. So one thing that the Knights are struggling with is those short passes there. The Greensboro offense is able to set up some blocks. And there's the give up the middle. And that's going to go for 5 yards, maybe 6. Once again, the carrier is Kewan Westmoreland. So 2nd and 4, Greensboro from midfield.
Yeah, they're really rolling right now. Just good momentum. I mean, this defense is probably a little bit tired. They haven't been off the field too long, but they've really just got to step up here.
Altus again with a receiver in the flat. Makes the catch for about 10 yards, but there is a flag on the play. And it looks like that's going to go against Greensboro. Get the call right here. That's going to be another hold on Greensboro.
Defensively, we'll see if the Knights maybe scoot their cornerbacks up a little bit. I mean, that's where they've been killing their. Seems to me they're just a little too far backfield. These quick passes are getting off quick, and Greensboro's able to take the space and get yardage before that defense can get there to help.
Be interesting to see the adjustment as now Greensboro 2nd and 14. Another quick pass, and he is knocked out of bounds just shy of the 1st down. That reception there was made by Braylon Crowder.
Yeah, these cornerbacks, you know, they're wary and aware of the speed of the wideouts for Greensboro. Just have to adjust on the fly.
3rd and 4, another quick throw, and that will go incomplete. sure Altus would like to have that throw back. And that will put Greensboro into a 4th and 4 right at midfield. And on comes their punting unit.
A little bit scary for a second there. Greensboro was really rolling down the field, got to midfield, and Knights just put enough pressure, right? Greensboro made a mistake, and they're able to force a punt here. We'll see.
And a little surprising, we mentioned those penalties. Greensboro had only been penalized 7 times coming into this game. And he's looked like he might try and throw in the end. He sends the kick down to Jalen Lackey, who makes the fair catch at the 18-yard line of Southern Virginia, and that's where this SVU offense will pick up here with 4 minutes, 24 seconds left in the first half. And Hank, I think what SVU would really want to see here is a good drive here to end the half. Run this clock out, give the defense some time to rest and make some adjustments and prepare for the second half.
Yeah, not great the last 2. Had to punt both times, a 3-and-out, and then they were able to get a first down that second to last, or that last drive. Hopefully they can keep improving and build on that.
Another high snap brought down by Watson. The give to Antoine Mills, and Mills looking for a little seam, unable to find one, and he's brought down for no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10. That play was well defended by the D line of Greensboro. Another give to Mills, and the defense for Greensboro once again is able to string that out, and Mills is brought down once again for no gain.
Yeah, I think he would have had better luck if he had planted his foot and just headed upfield. He's got maybe 2 or 3 yards, but better than no gain. I like the play call though. They tried to run up the middle once. Now they're trying to get it wide out the other way. 3rd and 10 here. Look for the Knights to pass. Once again, look for that middle of the field where Greensboro has been weak.
We haven't seen many throws into that middle of the field here since that initial drive. Interesting to see the call here. Watson back to pass. And he's got Washington streaking along the sideline. He'll go for a first down, maybe more. And Washington will take that into Greensboro territory before he is brought down at the Greensboro 44-yard line.
And that's huge. That's probably one of the biggest gains of the game, right? Offense has been struggling, so to get a pass like that on 3rd and 10, hopefully that'll carry the Knights into the end zone.
Watson, quick pass to Audette across the middle. Audette bobbles, but is able to maintain possession as he was being brought down. That looked a little dangerous there for a minute.
I'm sure Coach Dupé was having a little bit of a heart attack on the sideline seeing that.
A gain of 9. So that previous completion by Washington, what that did though is made sure that Greensboro most likely isn't going to get the ball back in this first half. That extended this possession to where now the Knights they got that new set of downs, 2nd and 1 right now, as we're now at the 2-minute timeout. So just to complete that thought, Hank, they were in a 3rd and 10 with over 3 minutes left, and if they didn't get that, they throw an incompletion, the clock stops. They're going to have to kick the ball back to Greensboro. But that first down gets them a new set of downs inside 3 minutes.
Yeah, if you're looking at it from a time management point of view, right, that's a pretty risky play call by Murdoch, but when it works out for you, not so risky. It looks pretty good. Able to now, 2nd and short, they can try something here, and then if they don't get it, you run it on 3rd down, get the first, and you got a new set of downs and continue to drain that clock and hopefully score before the end of the half.
Oh yeah, second and 1. With the ball on the 35-yard line, you're definitely in 4-down territory here at the end of the half. So the Knights, the playbook really opens up right now, and they can get, they can be as aggressive and creative as they want here as they look to, to make a score and go into the locker room ahead at halftime.
Yeah, that would be huge to go up ahead against your a conference opponent. You know, first, like we've said, first game of the conference season. Taking momentum into that halftime locker room is going to be huge for whichever team takes it.
Teams back on the field, ready to go for this 2nd down and 1. SVU with the ball on the Greensboro 35-yard line. Watson fakes the give, and now he throws downfield, and that'll be incomplete. Pass was intended for Demetrius Perry. But you like that decision from Watson right there. Didn't really look like there was too much on that play, so he threw that ball. Looked like it was mostly thrown away. Maybe Perry would have had, if anybody would have had a chance, it would have only been Demetrius Perry.
Yeah, great throw. Just throw in a spot where only your receiver has a chance. That's what you want here within 2 minutes.
Pitch out to Mills, and Mills is going to be brought down for a loss of 5 at the 40-yard line. So once again, we see that defensive line for Greensboro really doing a good job of stringing out those runs.
Yeah, you go from a 3rd and 1 to a 4th and 5. You know, a 4th and 1's more ideal, right? You can even just run it up the middle, QB sneak. 4th and 5's a little bit harder. Defense has a little bit more space to work with. They don't quite have to load the box like they would on a 4th and short.
Once again, the playbook's wide open though here, 4th and 4 with 1:10 left. And Watson's just gonna give a little pooch punt. We saw that once in their opening game against the Apprentice School. And that will be down at the 11-yard line of Greensboro. So, you know, we mentioned the playbook being wide open. Don't know if we expected that necessarily, but not a terrible call. Mm-hmm. Greensboro only has 1 timeout, and they've got 90 yards to go.
Yep. I mean, like you said, we've seen it before. It's not totally out of the blue, but I like it as you get a chance to try and draw the defense off sides. If not, right, you can just give that little short kick. You're in the short side of the field, so pretty safe option. Offensive line's been doing a good job keeping the middle of the defensive line away.
The give to Curry Dykes, and he is brought down for a loss.
Brought down at the 10-yard line. 2nd down.
Greensboro playing this conservatively to end the half. Their main concern here is just to not make a huge mistake, which would give the ball back to Southern Virginia.
Yeah, like we brought up earlier, Southern Virginia with the number 3 scoring defense in the nation. Don't want to put the ball in that situation for SVU to take it and to score off of it.
Another give. Actually, Altus keeps it.
He had me faked out on that one. I was watching the running back, so.
The fake to Dykes, and Altus keeps it, and he gains a couple yards. And that will bring us to halftime here in Buena Vista. So a hard-fought first half where we saw a lot of shining moments for both defenses. And at the end of this first half, we see the visiting Greensboro Pride leading the home squad, Southern Virginia Knights, by a score of 9-7. Any thoughts, Hank, before we head into halftime?
You touched on it. This has definitely been a defensive battle. I mean, that's where the players on each side are shining. Offensively, there's been mistakes. Altus has looked really good for Greensboro. When Watson has been dialed in, he's been throwing really good. They've been opening up gaps. Both offenses have stuttered. But, yeah, the defensive line especially has been where each team has shined today.
No, absolutely. A lot of defense, 9-7 halftime score. A lot of those, the Greensboro points, they came from possessions that started on on their side of the field, or on the SVU side of the field, so they didn't have to drive too far to score those points. At the end of the day, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments the coaches make at halftime, but either way, it should make for an exciting second half. So once again at halftime, we'll go into break. Greensboro 9, Southern Virginia 7. We'll go ahead and take this break and invite everybody to join us back for the second half.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the Southern Virginia University dance team. Today, the team will be performing a hip-hop routine choreographed by Captain Pierre Chandler and Linnea DeSouza. Give it up for your Southern Virginia University dance team. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some very special guests joining us today at today's football game. Please turn your attention to the field and help us welcome your Southern Virginia University cheer team, joined by their mini cheerleaders. They will be performing Try Everything by Shakira. a great performance. Let's give our special guest just a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause and welcome back to the field our very own Southern Virginia University Knights marching band. Today they will perform their second field show of the season, a musical tribute to Queen. Formed in London in 1970, Queen rose to international fame with their electrifying performances, vocal cords, and groundbreaking sound. Led by the incomparable Freddie Mercury, alongside Brian May, Roger Taylor, and John Deacon, Queen has sold hundreds of millions of records worldwide and continues to inspire generations of musicians and fans. We begin tonight's performance with Crazy Little Thing Called Love, written by Freddie Mercury in 1979. This rockabilly-inspired hit became Queen's first #1 single in the United States. With its playful energy and classic rock and roll style, it showcases Queen's versatility and Freddie Mercury's charismatic showmanship. Next, the band presents one of Queen's most social anthems, Somebody to Love. Released in 1976 on the album A Day at the Races, this gospel influenced masterpiece highlighted Freddie Mercury's soaring vocals and the band's signature layered harmony. This song quickly became a fan favorite, embodying the band's emotional depth and vocal power. For today's performance, the part of Mercury's soaring vocals will be played by featured trombone soloist and Maury River Middle School's own Mr. Matt Tucker. Can anybody find me somebody to love? Bruce Willis has contributed with one of the most iconic rock songs ever written, Bohemian Rhapsody, released in 1975 on the album A Night at the Opera.
First big play on defense.
This groundbreaking piece defies genre by blending rock, opera, and ballad styles into a 6-minute epic. It became Queen's signature song, forever etched in music history as a daring and unforgettable achievement. Enjoy puppet soloist Will Tone and a night marching band rendition of Bohemian Rhapsody.
We want to welcome everybody back here to Knight Stadium. We return for the third quarter here momentarily. Greensboro College currently leads the Knights by a score of 9-7. Once again, I'm Colby Kemp here with Hank Swedin. Sweden.
Swedin, you had it the first time.
Swedin. So, Hank, we're just kind of going over some stats here and a couple of things. So far, Greensboro College, they've really been able to move the ball. They have 213 yards of total offense in that first half compared to just 106 by Southern Virginia.
Yeah, almost exactly double. But, I mean, looking at the score compared to the yards, you just have to say, I mean, SU defense has been doing a good job of what they've been given.
Yeah, they've been put in some difficult spots as far as field position goes. Yeah, but Greensboro, they've been able to be pretty effective throughout here. And so it'll be interesting to see what adjustments the coaches have made at halftime. You know, one adjustment we look at so far, the Knights only have 10 yards rushing, which amounts to 0.8 yards per carry. So that's something where I'm sure the Knights are going to, they're either going to have to make some adjustments or they can improve upon that, or, you know, potentially have to look a little bit more to the passing game. As we get set here for this second half kickoff, Knights will take possession. Reagan Sawyer to kick for Greensboro. The Knights with Stevie Leo and Roger Adam back to receive. This will be Leo from the 8. And he will be brought down at the 22-yard line. And that is where Devin Watson and his offense will come out and take over here for their first possession of this second half.
Yeah, going back to that kickoff, one of the things we talked about at the end of the half last time was special teams. Greensboro special teams doing a good job, and really Sawyer putting Greensboro in good positions with his kicks.
Absolutely. He's been able to get them where they're starting, you know, not just with the length of the kicks, but also the height that he's able to get on those. Once again, another high snap. Watson brings it down, and he'll find Henry Audette for a first down.
Yeah, there's something that we had talked about earlier where, you know, the run game's not quite working. In that first quarter, we saw the open of the field being open on those passes, and here we're seeing that adjustment being made.
Yeah, Henry Audette has been somebody that's found some space so far this game. Watson going up top, and that ball is overthrown there. It'll fall incomplete. Pass intended there for Mahanri Smith follow. Mo not able to get out there underneath that pass. In his defense, it was a little out in front of him.
Just a little bit.
The give to Saulers, and he will fight his way for a gain of 2. So the Knights continue to try to establish that running game.
Well, 2 yards brings that average up a little bit from 0.8, so.
Actually looks like the ref spotted it with just a gain of 1, so still improves it a little bit, but you know, the Knights are going to need a little bit more than that. 3rd and 9. And another pass interference flag is going to be thrown on Greensboro, as Watson was looking upfield, but his receiver had been tied up. It looks like that was Sintez Gibson.
Yeah, I mean, that was clear as day. Wide receiver was totally turned around by that grab and pull from the Greensboro defensive back. So good fortune for the Knights.
Once again, the Knight drive being kept alive by a Greensboro penalty. 1st and 10 from the Greensboro 44. That'll be a quick pass out wide. Completion to number 3, MJ Laws quickly brought down. No gain on the play. Watson again to throw. And he had DJ Perry open, but the two were unable to connect on that pass. And once again, the Knights find themselves in a 3rd and long.
Looks like just a little miscommunication there. Watson got hit on the play, and receiver he was visibly disappointed that he wasn't in the right spot there.
Actually, looks like DJ Perry may have injured himself a little bit on that play. That may have been why he stopped the route, as he's come off the field and taken a seat on the bench, but he did walk off a little gingerly. So 3rd and 10, Watson going up top again. He's got a man. It is ruled incomplete. And that is Smith Follow, who went up for that pass. Difficult to see as that was on the far sideline, Hank. Tough for us to tell. The referees, though, they were right there and said the ball hit the ground.
Yeah, I mean, a good play call right there, one-on-one. Smith Follow, I mean, he got up there, made an acrobatic almost catch, just unlucky there.
So Passy on the field to punt. And the returner goes down, and the Knights get a good bounce, and it will roll dead out of bounds at the Greensboro 3-yard line. So a little bit of fortune there for the Knights.
And we talked about Greensboro special teams earlier doing a great job, but what an amazing punt by Passy to put it there inside the 5. I mean, golden platter for the Knight defense here.
Yeah, it looked like the returner for Greensboro was looking to pick it up, but he slipped. Not sure that would have been a great decision to pick that one up. But in the end, the Knights benefit from that ball getting past the returner. And at a halfway to the goal holding penalty during that return, or during the kick. So that's going to be inside the 2-yard line.
I think there's big expectations for the defense here. You got Greensboro pinned on their goal line. Any points on the board from Greensboro is going to be a disappointment. Looking for a big defensive stop.
Now right here, the Knight defense with an opportunity to switch field position, something the Knights haven't had the best of throughout this game. So right now, Coach DePay looking for his defense to come up big, with Greensboro starting deep in their own territory. Altus from his own end zone looks to throw. He's going to go long, and he does not have a receiver there. The receiver stopped his route. And so it'll be 2nd and 10 for Greensboro.
That looked like just a panic throw, get it out, try and just get it away before he got sacked in the end zone. Don't want to take a safety here.
No, they absolutely would not want to take a safety at this point. And I agree with you there. He saw a receiver that was going, so he threw it up. The receiver cut his route off. Another quick throw out in the flat. It's caught. And the Knight defense is right there to bring down the receiver, Trey Jones.
About 3rd and halfway here, so what's worked for Greensboro is swinging out wide, those quick passes to the edge. That's what I would do here offensively.
Blake Beardall made the stop. And it looks like movement along the offensive line for Greensboro, and that's going to drop them back halfway once again. Big penalty there as they were facing only a 3rd and 4. That drops them back now. They'll be 3rd and 7 from the 3-yard line. Altus looking to throw. And he's got a completion out near the 20-yard line. Once again, that is Privet on the reception.
Yeah, that deep out route. Just really looking for it, just to get a release, create some space. A long third down. A little too close for Comfort to run it, so just trying to get it out and get a first down, which they got.
So Altus continues to look impressive here. Under pressure, he puts one up. The Knights are there, and that's going to be picked off. Picked off by Alex Passy.
What a series for him, right? That great punt, pin them inside the 5, and then to take the ball away off that great field position that he gave the defense.
And credit the pressure on the quarterback there for creating that throw. Looks like the pressure there by Joseph Woods Jr. getting to the quarterback, causing that ball to hang in the air for a long time that allows Alex Passy to get under and bring it in. So maybe not the big play that the Knights were looking for when Greensboro was deep in their own territory, but this will do it right here as the Knights will start from the Greensboro 37-yard line. Watson's got a man and just overthrows. And so that will be incomplete, but right there, the Knights were going for it there on that 1st and 10, and they had a man in the area.
Yeah, they're using the turnover, the momentum. They're taking a shot right here. They're going to try something big here to score. I mean, they need it. They're down, given it's only by 2, but win or lose by 30 or 2, it's still a loss. So they want to get back on the board here.
And Watson, quick pass over the middle, sells high over the hands of Scott DePay. So Knights now facing a 3rd and 10 after the interception by Passy.
Yeah, that's Watson's second overthrow. Hopefully they get that adjusted and he's able to make another completion soon.
Swing it wide to Sullers. He's got some blocking set up. Cuts it back, and he is brought down at about the 33-yard line. So the Knights are going to be in a 4th and 5. Knights line up. Watson in the shotgun. Across the middle, complete. And Jalen Lackey with the completion across the middle gives the Knights a first down at the 24-yard line of Greensboro.
I really like that play call. Build some confidence in your quarterback again. Nice quick slant, get the first down.
Watson steps up and he's going to have a short completion. Under a little pressure. Jalen Lackey once again with the reception.
Yeah, credit to Coach Murdoch, too. Still having confidence in your quarterback. A couple overthrows, a couple missed throws, right? That's something that can make you turn away, steer away from that. But putting confidence in your quarterback, you can get situations like this where you're moving the ball still.
Watson swings to Javen Ball. Ball tries to split 2 defenders. They're going to bring him down, and he'll be just shy. Looks like maybe 2 yards shy of a first down. Looks like it'll be 3rd and 2 from the 17. The Knights need just inside the 15-yard line, so called a 3rd and 3. They give to Mills up the middle. And he is met there by the entire defensive line of Greensboro and brought down. Looks like brought down for a loss.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Third and short, third and medium. Just looking to get a nice, easy run. You've passed it a couple times. You're hoping that you've opened up the defense. The defensive line aren't ready. Unfortunately, not the case.
Nope, the defensive line was right there. Watson now 4th and 3. And the Knights miscommunication on the snap count, and they're going to get a false start penalty. It's going to cost them 5 yards. You know, we mentioned, Hank, the Knights are yet to attempt a field goal on the season. And right here, 4th and 8 from the 23, I don't believe that's going to be the first attempt of the season, a 40-yard field goal. So Knights lining up, 4th and 8.
They might do another little pooch punt here too.
Watson looking to throw, and that's going to go over the head once again. Tariq Washington, the intended receiver. You know, the Knights, they're just unfortunately not able to buy any time for Watson in the pocket, and Watson being forced to make some tough throws, and you can't blame him for throwing, you know, to the area where he's throwing, because he's been under pressure there and just not able.
Yeah, you can tell he's a little antsy there in the pocket, just throwing off his platform a little bit. Even just off your platform a little bit can just cause those throws to be, you know, just out of reach, a little high, a little short, and we've seen that all day.
So Greensboro takes over from their 23. Quick run up the middle, brought down. Brought down quickly for a gain of just 1. Cade Hansen making the stop on that play.
And that's his 10th tackle of the day.
Another handoff up the middle. Kewan Westmoreland on the carry. Brought down again by Cade Hansen.
Westmoreland of Mooresville, North Carolina. He was real shifty there. I mean, just what Greensboro needed. Caused 2 missed tackles, got the first down.
Ball on the Greensboro 37. Another give to Westmoreland. Cade Hansen once again right there to bring him down for a short gain. Greensboro player down.
Looks like he might be cramping up.
So there will be an injury timeout here.
Where are the trainers? Ethan, where you at? Where are the trainers? Okay, there you go. Jeez Louise.
We've called Cade Hansen's name a couple times on this this series. He's a freshman out of Highland, Utah, went to Lone Peak High School. 11 tackles so far in the game. He's obviously having a big impact for this defense. 1 tackle for a lost assist as well.
Cade Hansen, he is the leading tackler on this Southern Virginia defense throughout the season.
Pretty exciting to have a freshman up there, you know, up that high on the stats for your defense. Bodes good for your program.
You have Cade Hansen. You also have Traden Henderson is a freshman. You know, Kavika Bringhurst, another player along that defensive line who is only a sophomore. And also another player that's come out very strongly this year, a freshman, is number 28 there, Britton Tidwell. Tidwell actually came out on fire in the opening game. You know, he had a pick 6 and several tackles for loss. He leads the team in tackles for loss with 4.5. And Tidwell, as a result of that game, he was not only the rookie of the week for the USA South Conference, but the defensive player of the week that week. So as you say, this young defense that's, you know, only been given up just under 7 points a game on the season. You know, they're youthful, And like you said, it bodes well for the future for the Southern Virginia defense. But right now, they got to figure out the Greensboro Pride offense and come up with some stops, as Greensboro's now in a 2nd and 7. Altus, and that throw is wide of his target, Privet.
Yeah, to go back to that young defense, that's also something we've seen change, I think, from this year, this 3-0 squad, to what we've seen in previous years. Coach Dupay has been able to change the amount of retention. We've got a lot more players staying now after their freshman year than we've seen in previous years. He's able to continue developing these young players and help them improve after their first season here.
Yeah, and that's what Coach Dupay has talked about really needing for this program is some continuity. And right here, a 3rd and 7, a big play for this Knight defense. And there is Tony Napper Jr. breaking up that pass intended for Shamar Privet. And that right there is a defensive play that SVU has been looking for today. That's a huge play by Napper.
Yeah, we haven't seen that a lot. Napper out of Roanoke, Virginia, not too far from here. I mean, you could just see it. He was following that entire time, read the quarterback's eyes, and almost baited him. Got right in front of that throw. Just another step ahead, and it could have been a pick.
So a good stop by Southern Virginia.
Another thing to watch for here is that fake. On that last punt, he looked like he was going to throw it, decided to punt it.
Punter Gallardi gets the kick away. Jalen Lackey to receive for the Knights. He makes the first man miss, and he's coming up the sideline. A good return. That's about 15 yards on the return. And Lackey brings the Knights up into some pretty good starting field position for this offensive series. Looks like they're going to place the ball at the SVU 36-yard line, and that's where this drive will begin.
Yeah, great job by Lackey to just create space, make some guys miss, and give relatively SVU their best field position off of punts or kicks today.
I think Coach Dupay will be happy with the starting position here of the 36-yard line, and maybe some momentum for this Knight team. You come off a great play by Napper Jr. on defense, a good little return off of the punt, and maybe that will allow this Knight offense to find some rhythm and move the ball down the field. Injured player for Greensboro. He's now getting up and walking off under his own power, which is always good. That's Will Pelthorpe, a senior out of Woodstock, Georgia. Good to see Pelthorpe able to get up and leave the field without any assistance.
Now, I'm excited to see what this offense does this series, right? They've had bits and pieces of really good offense, but they haven't quite been able to piece it all together to get in the end zone outside of that first drive.
Knights hoping to get the offense going here. A fake to Mills and a pass across the middle, which is complete. There is a flag on the play. And that pass completion, all right, Hank, this is going to test the pronunciation skills here. That is Gabriel Afulajuwanlu, a freshman out of Providence, Rhode Island, making that reception.
That sounds right to me.
So it's a penalty on the Knights, pushes them back 5 yards. So 1st and 15 from their 31. Hand off to Mills, looking for an edge, and once again, he is brought down by that Greensboro defense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting them to, the Knights to air it out a little bit more. That's been working for them, as you can see. right here.
And there's a reception. Scott DePay over the middle, and Scott DePay is going to take that to the house. No flags on the play, and with that reception, SVU is going to take the lead, 13-9 with the point after pending.
That's what you want to see, right? A two-play drive. Like we talked about, just it's been missing, just a little bit off, just a little overthrown, a little underthrown. Put everything together, and you get something like that.
Absolutely. You know, we talked about them just being a little bit off. You know, and it started several times. That snap has been coming up a little bit high, throws the timing off a little bit. But that time, you know, and some of those throws by Watson were good throws, but just the timing of everything is a little bit off. And right there, we see it all come together with that pass over the middle to DePay. And DePay will take that. That's a 69-yard touchdown pass. Knights going for two. Watson across the middle, Henry Audette. And the Knights convert the 2-point conversion following the touchdown, and that will give them a 15-9 lead here with just about 7 minutes gone in this third quarter.
Yep, and you can feel it, the momentum's kind of switched, right? Any big play like that will just amp up a team. You go from the interception on the first defensive series, the pass deflection on the next defensive series, right? Offense wasn't able to do much, but here off the false start, you don't get great field position, but a big play, you throw it long, you're in, and all of a sudden you're going to be firing on all cylinders.
Absolutely, and we talked about the momentum, right? That great play by Tony Napper Jr., breaking up that third down throw, and then the return by Jalen Lackey. You know, and then the Knights shoot themselves a little bit in the foot, but, you know, that momentum that was created by the defensive play, the return, and then right now they come back with that great touchdown reception, 69 yards. And so now what will be exciting is to see how does the Knight defense respond to that. You know, they did their job, the offense did their job, see if they can get it rolling a little bit. Also, you know, a big point for Greensboro too. They're going to have to see how they respond to that success by the Knights.
Yeah, that's the only downside of a two-play drive is your defense doesn't get a super long break.
But they should be energized by a touchdown because now they're going out with a lead to protect. Kick is away. And Greensboro sets up the return, a cutback. And another good return by Greensboro. Takes that out to their 32-yard line. That return there, once again, is by Sincere McIntyre. Made several Knights miss.
Yeah, great footwork, just great shiftiness there. What more can you ask for on that? I mean, maybe better blocking, but to get out to the 30 is pretty good.
Well, I think Coach Card will take the 32-yard line as the starting point of this drive for Greensboro. Altus under center, and there's the give. And it's going to be a pickup of, it looks like 3, maybe 4 yards.
Yeah, Greensboro's breaking out all these fun formations. Something like that, super heavy, overloaded. You don't see it a lot, right? They've run the option. They've run a couple of different things.
Another give up the middle, and there's the Knight defense to stuff that run.
Same formation, just flipped to the other side. This time, Knight defense was there, ready for it.
Looks like Connor Owens was the defensive lineman for the Knights that put an end to that run. And so that will bring up third. And it looks like 8 yards. Altus with a quick pass, and that's picked off. Tony Napper Jr. have a second half. Tony Napper Jr. picks that off and takes it to the house. And the Knight defense responds well, energized by that offensive two-play touchdown drive.
Yeah, and that's where you see the defense, you know, they must have chatted at halftime, they adjusted. That's what was killing the Knights earlier in the game, the first half. You know, those quick passes to the flats where the Greensboro receivers were able to get upfield quick. They must have chatted. They've seen that. They know what they're doing now, get in front of that, and that's the result, pick 6.
Alex Passy on to attempt the extra point. Javen Ball with the hold. And that kick is good, and that takes the Knights out to a 22-9 lead. You know, Hank, you talked about the previous possession where Napper made that break and the breakup of the pass. He said that maybe one more step, he gets a pick 6. Well, he must have heard you. He went back, sat on the sidelines, watched his offense, scored a touchdown, and went out there, and he looked like the intended receiver on that pass from Altus, unfortunately for Greensboro.
Yeah, I mean, he was there miles before it seemed that the wide receiver was ready for it. So the halftime chat, the locker room chat, doing big things. We've seen a totally different SVU team come out this half. Just humming, firing on all cylinders, like we've seen in the previous games this year.
Coach DePay has to like how his teams responded to a little bit of adversity. You know, it was their first deficit at halftime. They go in, they make some adjustments and come out, like you say, firing on all cylinders in this second half. Scott DePay sends the kick off. Looks like Sincere McIntyre once again, and that ball hits just in front and takes a bounce into the end zone. So that'll be a touchback. And Greensboro will start this possession on their 25.
Yeah, got a little bit lucky there. He's lucky that bounced into him and hit him. Could have been bad news for Greensboro. You could hear the Greensboro fans down here loud and audible. Oh.
A little nervous that might have hit him, but the referees say it cleared him. So they bring the ball out to the 25. And this Knight defense will come back out looking to do more work.
Wouldn't be shocked if they decide to go back to the run here. That's what's been working for them, as SVU's obviously made the adjustment on the edge.
Handoff. And again, the Knight defense is right there. So here in this second half, Greensboro finding that ground game a little bit tougher going than what it was in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, Greensboro's offense, they're doing the same things. They're running it the same way, but they haven't gotten any better or worse. Just the SVU defense has stepped up a little bit more.
That's a good point. Another handoff there, and that is Torrance Kelly getting another carry. 2 in a row for him, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 7.
That was Trayden Henderson on the tackle from Blackfoot, Idaho. He made that mistake earlier.
That Trayden Henderson had a good chat with his father during halftime, came up, wanted to correct the geography a little bit. You know, he mentioned that Trayden made a late decision to come out here to Southern Virginia. So with that, his hometown went in the books as Buena Vista. Pass across the middle, complete. Trey Jones with the reception. That'll be a first down for Greensboro.
Good throw. There's even pressure in the backfield there, so kind of what Greensboro needs right now.
Altus, another swing pass into the flat. Knights are able to defend that, but not before Greensboro picks up what looks to be about 6 yards.
Yeah, they're trying the same stuff, just a little bit safer. You have another wide receiver out there to block. Just trying to get some short yardage, build confidence again.
Man in motion. Quick give up the middle. Torrance Kelly gets through, and Ty Smith comes up from the defensive backfield to make that tackle. 1st and 10, Greensboro from the SVU 44. Another give to Torrance Kelly. And he falls ahead for a gain of 2, maybe 3. Cade Hansen and Connor Owens there on the tackle.
Knight defense, they're doing a great job of just containing them. I mean, there's some 5-6 yard plays, but they're keeping them from getting those big ones. You can kind of feel it. Greensboro's on the edge, that not this run, but the last one, right? One guy to beat, and he would have been gone. So SVU's doing a good job of being in position.
Fakes the handoff, thrown out into flat. Britton Tidwell and Blake Beardall make the stop. KJ Brown with the reception, takes it out and gives Greensboro a 3rd and 2 at the SVU 36-yard line. So another opportunity here for the SVU defense to come up big. Once again, the give to Torrance Kelly, and he is stacked up and brought down. But the tough running, actually that's Kewan Westmoreland, and his tough running earns him a 1st down.
Yeah, I mean, right in front of us here in the booth, and I mean, just barely, a couple inches maybe, he got that, and like you said, just that tough running, kept the feet churning, was able to get over the gain line.
About 30 seconds left here in this 3rd quarter. Quarter that has gone by a little bit quicker than that either of the 2 first quarters. And Altus under pressure from the Knight defense. Kavika Bringhurst got there first and flushed him from the pocket, and then Cade Hansen and Traden Henderson were able to get the sack. I believe a little help also from Spike Adams. And that's a big play there on 3rd and 2. 3rd and short. Turns it, or actually it was a 1st down. My bad. My bad, I forgot the 1st down they got. So it's going to put them behind the sticks though in a 2nd and 18 it looks like, as we come to the end of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I mean, the defensive line, we talked about it all day. They've been putting pressure on. That's their 2nd sack of the day, so it's working. They're getting there. It's just a matter of time. You know, this might be the sack that kind of snowballs, avalanches, gives that defensive line some motivation to get in the backfield. They know they can do it now. Might give them just a little extra push, get there a little faster.
So we talked coming out of halftime about what adjustments, you know, both teams might have made at the half. And right now it looks like the adjustments that Southern Virginia made were the right ones for them. They came out, it was their best quarter, both defensively and offensively when you look at it.
Yeah, and I mean, Greensboro, they're not really like, you know, other than that pick 6, right? They're not doing anything terrible. They're just eating up clock, eating up yards, short gains. It's just those moments, right? You got to win the moment, and right now SVU's winning those moments, right? They're reading it right. They're taking it upon themselves to take control of this game.
Absolutely. In the first half, they were giving up bigger chunks of yardage on each down. Now, like you said, you know, Greensboro's still been moving the ball, but the Knights are making it more difficult. Ready for the first snap of the 4th quarter. Altus looking downfield, and he's got a man there. Again, that is Privet for a 1st down, or going to be just shy of the 1st down, actually. So that'll put Greensboro into a 3rd and 3.
Yeah, Coach Ehorn, defensive coordinator for the Knights there. He must have really liked that sack, wanted to bring some more pressure. They brought 5 on that one, and weren't quite able to get there in time.
So another opportunity for this Knight defense to put an end to a drive. Altus and the whole defensive line gets through, but they set up a screen to Westmoreland. There is a flag on the play. Be interesting to see what the call is. You know, the way that offensive line released, it could be ineligible receiver downfield, which will bring this play back.
Yeah, defensive line's been getting in there all game. You know, free release. They thought it was a party. They were all up there getting the quarterback. Good call by Greensboro to get that screen going. Feel that pressure and just get over it. Unfortunately, just a little too eager to get upfield and to block. So they're going to have to bring it back.
So a 5-yard penalty brings the ball back to the 33-yard line of Southern Virginia, and that is where Greensboro will have what is being called a 3rd and 10. Altus back to pass, little pressure, throws it up, and that is incomplete, out of bounds, and that will bring up 4th and 10 now. And we'll see what Coach Card wants to do.
This is really hard. 4th and 10. You're in the fourth quarter. You're down pretty big, but not out of reach. If you're able to convert here, that really just puts the game in reach. You have a chance to go up there and to win it.
It's too far for a field goal. It'd be a 50-yarder. You know, 4th and 10, 33. Going for it. Altus looking to pass under pressure. Still got time, and he throws. And a great attempt, a one-handed grab attempt there by Trey Jones, and it falls incomplete as Jones is unable to get both hands on it. And the Pride will turn it over on downs to the SVU defense. So a big play again there. You know, a lot of pressure by the defensive line, but Altus, you know, credit to him. He found a way to get a pass off, and it was catchable.
Oh yeah, he was moving around the backfield pretty good, evading the defense there. But you just know that all the self-proclaimed wide receiver coaches at home are cringing at that one, right? You always hear 2 hands on the ball, right? If you get 1, you can get 2. Who knows, that might be a game changer if he brings that in.
Ball thrown by Watson, intended for Maxey. That ball goes incomplete. May have been a little bit of an ill-advised throw there, as Greensboro looked to have read that pretty well. 2nd and 10. Watson keeps it, goes up the middle, and he'll carry for looks like a 6-yard gain. That'll put the Knights in a 3rd and 4.
One of the longer runs of the day, but I mean, does what it needs to, puts them in a more manageable situation, opens up the playbook a little bit more.
3rd and 4 with the give up the middle, and a good run there by Antoine Mills gives the Knights a 1st down, and a Greensboro player is down, injured, right about midfield.
Yeah, great run by Mills there. First looked like he wasn't going to get it. Defense, Greensboro defense was in there. They had him about surrounded, just some good footwork, some shiftiness, was able to get around, get that 1st down. We'll see if, you know, the offense can continue the momentum of their previous drives. A little bit, you know, energy's a little bit down from earlier. Nothing big on defense, nothing huge on defense. Defense was out there for a short while, not too long, but enough for the offense to get rested. So we'll see if they can come out with the same intensity and excitement that they've had earlier.
The injured player, number 6, Jaden Barnes. He was able to walk off under his own power. He's being attended to over on the sideline by the trainer. Knights now 3rd and 4 with the give to Roger Adam. And he tries to swing it out wide, and he's brought down for a 2-yard loss. That'll bring up 2nd and 12 after the Knights had gotten that first down on the carry by Mills.
Yeah, and there we go again with that, a little bit of a high snap, makes the handoff take a little bit longer. And, of course, that's not the sole purpose for the loss there, but, any second is important.
2nd and 12. Watson motions out of the backfield. And Roger Adam takes a direct snap. And looks like he gets a gain of 3.
A little bit of wildcat there, trying to catch the defense off guard. Didn't work too well, got a couple yards, but better than nothing.
So 3rd and 9. Ball at midfield. Watson in the gun. Roger Adam. And there's a false start out here by the Knight receivers. So that's going to turn an already long 3rd and 9 into an even longer 3rd and 14.
Yeah, it looks like just some miscommunication on the audible. We're not on the same page on this end of the field.
Watson, quick pass over the middle. DePay once again. DePay's got some room, and DePay takes it down to the 22-yard line before he is brought down by Larry Jones for Greensboro. So the Knights once again able to convert on another big 3rd down play.
Yeah, that was big. Like you said before, it was 3rd and extra long. To be able to get that, it's really, really good here. Early-ish in the 4th quarter. Just get them down towards the red zone, 1 yard away from it. Really good for the momentum of SVU here.
Well, and once again, you bring up the time a little bit. It's still a little early in the 4th quarter. However, it's not too early to talk about clock management because, again, Greensboro's down by 2 scores. And now with just, under 11 minutes remaining, this gives the Knights, it extends that possession. It's good for 2 reasons. Number one, gives them a new set of downs, but also gets them almost into the red zone now, where if they can put up points here on this possession, that would go a long way to helping them on to looking for that 4th consecutive victory to start the season.
Yeah, those big chunk plays have been a big part of that on offense and on defense. Like you mentioned, they're up by 2 scores. So you wonder if you don't get a first down here in the red zone, is this a spot where you look to maybe kick your first field goal of the year?
I think they need to probably get at least another first down before they think about a field goal. Watson throws and complete at the 9-yard line of Greensboro. That completion goes to Mahonri, follows Smith. They're going to spot it at the 8, so it'll be 2nd and 2.
Nice short pass here on this sideline. 2nd and short, I'd look for them to maybe play action or try and go for the end zone, take a shot here.
Watson with the give. Mills winds his way down to the 8-yard line.
The way they're moving, they might not even have to think about kicking a field goal here. Looking good on offense.
A good run there by Mills, picks up the first down. So it's now 1st and goal from the 8 as the Knights look to punch in their 3rd touchdown of the second half. The give to Roger Adam, and he busts through the middle for a gain of 6 as he takes that down to the 2-yard line. So what was a pretty meager first half rushing-wise for the Knights, they've come on here in the last 10 minutes or so and really started to be able to gain some yards with the running game.
Yeah, it's really turned around. Momentum of that might be a thing. We talk about halftime adjustments. That tackle on the last play by Bishop Brown, the senior from Greensboro, was probably a touchdown-saving tackle.
Watson gives to Adam once again. He is met by most of the Greensboro defense at what looks to be about the 1-yard line. And that'll bring up 3rd and goal now for Greensboro. As Greensboro, they're digging in as they know that a touchdown here could be very detrimental to their hopes.
Yeah, if you're Greensboro, you've just got to be a brick wall. Stop anything and everything, be ready for anything and everything, which easier said than done, the way that the SVU offense has been playing today.
And Watson tries a quarterback sneak, and he has stood up. And so the Greensboro defense holds firm once again on 3rd down. And that brings up 4th and goal. Ball just inside the 2-yard line.
Yeah, the Greensboro box, your defensive linemen and your interior linebackers have been playing really good today. They're on the same page. They're stopping those big runs. And here inside the 5, it's even more important for them to be in sync. Even a little bit of a gap, you give that room for someone to dive or to drive through and just squeeze into the end zone.
So Coach DePay not looking inclined at all to try a field goal. High snap. And the give to Roger Adam, and Roger takes it over the goal line into the end zone. Touchdown, SVU.
It took him 3 tries.
Hold on. We got laundry on the field. So we have some penalty. We have a penalty here.
The touchdown is good. Number 35 of the offense. Just on the kickoff.
So the touchdown is good, and then Roger Adam gets flagged for some unsportsmanlike behavior following the touchdown. So that'll be a 15-yard penalty. That will be assessed on the kickoff, so that'll be a factor for field possession for Greensboro.
Yeah, that's good for Greensboro, trying to crawl back from this deficit. The closer you can get to the end zone, the better.
And the extra point is wide left by Passy. So that will put the score at 28 for Southern Virginia. Greensboro has 9. And we have 7 minutes and 32 seconds left here in the game.
Yeah, Roger Adam, he's only got 5 carries on the day, and 3 of them were there inside the 5. So, he's probably pretty pumped up to get in the end zone, maybe a little too pumped up.
Maybe a little too pumped up, apparently. You never know. When I look down and saw those flags, you never know because it's right there. Everybody's on the goal line. You don't know if they got a hold or something like that could have negated the touchdown. Fortunately for the Knights, it was an unsportsmanlike after the fact.
You don't get to say that very often. Unfortunately, fortunately, it was a unsportsmanlike. But
you don't like those unsportsmanlike penalties for sure. I mean, Coach DePay does not like those at all. But if you have to have one, I guess it better come at the end of a touchdown.
There's a little bit more leniency there.
Scott DePay sends the kick away. And you know, I believe that was an intentional kick out of bounds. You know, that's going to be penalized, but because they are already back 15 yards, I wouldn't be surprised if it was just, hey, just kick it out of bounds. We'll take the penalty. That'll bring the ball up to the 40 or 35. But the way Greensboro is returning the ball, why take your chances, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they've been explosive receiving the ball, and, you know, they've almost broken it a couple times, so they've already got good field position. Just play it safe.
So it'll be placed on the 50-yard line. So I guess they get the penalty twice there because the ball was kicked back. It also moves the spot, probably to prevent the situation that I just explained. Still, maybe not the worst decision there to just take the receiving game out of it.
Especially the way that the defense has been playing today. They've been really good job the second half. I'm looking for them to continue that.
So Altus fakes the give, and he will take it up the middle for a 5-yard gain, which, you know, Hank, let's be honest, at this point of the game, the Knights are okay with that. If you want to run up the middle for 5 yards, you know, Greensboro needs 3 scores, and you're not going to get 3 scores in 5-yard chunks up the middle.
Yeah, even if they take 5 yards all the way to the end zone, that burns too much clock for Greensboro. And like you said, Knights are okay with that.
Kewan Westmoreland with the carry. He goes around the right side and picks up, it looks like, 4 yards. And a Greensboro player, once again, looks to be injured on the play. So we have an injury timeout. We will go ahead and take that timeout and be right back when play resumes. The injured player for Greensboro was Tyler Smouse. Fortunately, once again, he was able to jog off the field under his own power. He's a junior offensive lineman out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Greensboro now faced with a 3rd and 2 at the SVU 42-yard line. Altus pass is complete for a first down. Coy Davis with the reception. Penalty flag on the field. So we will wait the call from the referee on the penalty. And during the tackle, looks like Jamar Robinson got his hand on the face mask of Davis, so they will tack 15 yards onto the end of that play, which will take the ball down to the 25-yard or 20-yard line of Southern Virginia. 1st and 10, Greensboro. Altus with the pass. Trey Jones with a gain of, it looks to be about 5 yards.
Yeah, Greensboro, they're just running their offense right now. They can score here. If they can score here, then they'll try and air it out later.
Pass into the flat, ruled incomplete. Intended once again, that Shamar Privet.
The most important thing for Greensboro is to score, no matter what. If they aren't able to score here, it looks pretty bleak for them. But if they can score here and in their offense, then they can start taking shots.
Now definitely looking to put a touchdown on the board here. 3rd and 6. Swing pass to Terrence Kelly. And that ball is caught and taken down near the first down marker. Looks like they're going to mark it 1 yard short. So 4th and 1 for Greensboro. This could be the game right here, Hank.
Looks like he wasn't ready for the snap.
Pass is knocked down. Good defense played there, but like you said, there is a flag on the play. We'll see. It was awkward from the start. Likely to be a false start. Or nope, offsides. That's why he wasn't ready for the snap. The center knew they had somebody offsides, so he snapped the ball.
I mean, good heads-up football IQ by the center. Knowing you've got a free shot, you've got a free play, you might as well use it. Unfortunately, the rest of the team wasn't on the same page.
And that pass breakup in the end zone, that was a big play there because that would have stood had it been a touchdown. The give to Cameron Terrence Kelly. Into the end zone for a touchdown for Greensboro. So Greensboro drives the ball 50 yards into the end zone to score a touchdown to close the gap. 28-15 with the point after. Pending, they'll go ahead and kick.
Yeah, that's been one of the things that's worked for Greensboro this half is just running it, those short to medium runs. That being said.
And once again, the point after is blocked at the line of scrimmage. So the score will remain 28-15. So the Knights will take a 13-point lead and have possession with 5:45 left in the game.
Yeah, like I was saying, it's just the run seems to be there for Greensboro. They're running it, those medium runs, but the defense has done such a good job. None of Greensboro's running backs have over 30 yards rushing. You've got a couple over 10, a couple over 20, but nobody has over 30.
Kind of been that bend, don't break mentality. You know, like we said, that first half, you know, Greensboro had the benefit of having good field position to start many of their possessions. So it'll be interesting here to see if Coach Card elects for an onside kick, even though there's still almost 6 minutes left. But knowing he does have to score 2 touchdowns. And Coach DePay calls for a timeout. I believe he was looking at Greensboro thinking that they are looking to maybe kick that onside kick, and Southern Virginia did not have their onside hands team out on the field for that kickoff.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Is just Coach DePay thinking along the same lines as you. Just even though it's 6 minutes left in the quarter in the game, you just got to be ready for stuff like that. Greensboro's got to be willing to take some risks here. Like you said, down by 2 scores. They're going to be trying some big things to just get the ball downfield to move it and to get it back. Especially.
It'll be interesting to see how SVU ends up lining up here, because you have, I think there's 6 minutes left in the game. Greensboro could onside kick, but if SVU puts too many players up to receive that onside kick, they could also go for a chip shot up and over, because that ball, once it hits 10 yards, doesn't matter whether it's flying or rolling, it's fair game for either team. So, the Knights come in here. Looks like they're kind of preventing the onside kick. And they have Jalen Lackey back at about the 18-yard line just in case they try the chip shot option. Sawyer ready to take the kick. And he goes with the chip shot, and it takes a bounce and goes out of bounds. So once again, they will have a flag. It looks like the Knights will get the ball at their 35.
Good for the Knights, you know, doing exactly like you said, reading Greensboro's mind here, just trying the chip shot, trying to just get a lucky bounce. You want it to bounce straight up in the air over the heads of those players as they're returning, so you give your kickoff team a chance to go up there and win a 50-50 ball.
Yeah, I understand that Lackey was in the middle of the field, but when you angle that right to the corner, that's the risk you take there of having it bounce out of bounds. You know, even if it goes in the middle of the field, there's no guarantee that Lackey's going to field the kick on the fly, but nonetheless, some interesting strategy there employed by Greensboro, down by 2 scores. So Southern Virginia will take over at their own 35. And there's a give up the middle. Marcus Solers.
Up by 2 scores here. I feel like that's going to be the focus of especially this drive, is just burning as much clock as possible, maybe forcing Greensboro to use some timeouts.
Absolutely, either of those options. You know, you're going to run the play clock down or force them to use their timeouts. It works in your favor either way, with Greensboro still needing 2 possessions to have any chance of going ahead in this game. A little bit of a surprise call there as SVU goes for a pass attempt that's broken up by Greensboro. Flag on the play at the end. And I believe there's going to be a coach that's going to be upset at this call.
Yeah, I was just going to say that even though you're up by 2 scores here, you want to play it safe. You don't want to, make a mistake, force something, have a turnover, and give Greensboro a short field here. You're only up by 2 scores. You got to be a little bit conservative.
So they pick the flag up. No penalty called. 3rd and 9 for the Knights. Swing pass. And that's the freshman, Crew Sage, making a good, nifty run there after the catch. You know, he's brought down shy of the first down marker. But he gave it a good try there, trying to gain that yardage, looking for a little seam.
Yeah, Crew Sage out of Dayton, Idaho, little high school, west side. Real small school in southern Idaho. So it's his freshman year here. Probably hasn't ever been on a football team this big.
But he's had some big plays this year. He scored a touchdown in the opener against Apprentice School.
His only touch of that game, and took it long.
So Greensboro takes a timeout to stop the clock. And the Knights line up to punt it away. Javian Carr back to receive the punt for Greensboro. Punt is away. Some good hang time. And Javian Carr is met immediately after fielding that punt,
Brought down at the 25-yard line.
number 23, Scott Pease, on the coverage.
Yeah, great special teams right there. I mean, good punt, good coverage. You know, Carr, he's had one return before this.
15-yard penalty. First one of the kick. First down and 10.
We got a flag, but Spearhead's okay.
And a penalty was thrown. And they got a face mask call on Greensboro during that kick. So that is a big play right there. That's going to send Greensboro back to their own 12-yard line, and that's where they'll start this possession. Altus with the completion, and this is Brown. He's got some room. Beardall's got to catch him, and Beardall makes the touchdown-saving tackle at the SVU 9-yard line.
And that tackle is huge. Even if Greensboro does end up scoring, obviously big chunk play if they score here, but that tackle by Beardall, that'll help them burn some more time off the clock, right? Greensboro's got to run some more plays.
So KJ Brown with the big reception. First and goal, Greensboro. And that ball is swung out wide, and he is knocked out of bounds, just shy of the end zone. Sincere McIntyre once again with the reception. Second and goal from the 2. Altus going to keep it himself. And he's going to be marked down just shy of the end zone.
Look to hurry up here if you're Greensboro. Want to save as much clock as possible.
And Altus again keeps it, and he's wrapped up. There's a tug-of-war going on at the goal line. And once again, he's going to be marked short of the goal line. So that's going to bring up a big 4th and goal for Greensboro. Turns out that's going to be a free play, as there was a flag thrown for offsides on Southern Virginia, so that will move the ball halfway to the goal line, which may amount to about 6 inches.
The most important thing about that penalty is it stops the clock for Greensboro.
Stops the clock and gives them the down over. 3 minutes, 12 seconds left on the clock. Altus looks to pass, throws over the middle, incomplete. And Kavika Bringhurst down on the play.
Now we've seen Greensboro run a plethora of formations this game. They've run some super heavy, they've done some wing back, they've had some option plays. This is a situation where you break out anything, right? You need this touchdown, and you need it bad.
So they intend to Bringhurst. Springhurst gets up, and he's coming off the field under his own power as well. It's good to see. Some discussion going on the field.
Might have something to do with the timing on the clock when that timeout came, when the injury timeout came.
Referee is talking to the coaches. I believe there's a discussion as to what down it currently is. Scoreboard saying 3rd down. Coach DePay saying it's 4th down. And now they are correcting. It is 4th down.
It's a big play for both sides.
Altus under center, gives it on a sweep, and he's stacked up. It's going to be interesting if he got in or not. That was Privet with the carry, and the referee's signal, touchdown Greensboro. He was met right there. The Knight defense played it well, but Privet, he did not want to be denied. He kept those legs churning and made it into the end zone.
Well, you know that, not an ideal ending for the Knights, but that tackle by Blake Beardall, probably shaved an additional at least 30 seconds off the clock.
Sawyer to try the extra point. And this one is converted. So that will bring us to a score of 28-22. Southern Virginia with the lead, and they will get the ball here on the kickoff. 3 minutes, 12 seconds remaining.
If I'm Coach DuPay here, seeing Greensboro make that huge pass, that explosive play earlier, I'm looking to drive down the field and score here. Defenses have been playing great, but time to put it in the hands of your quarterback, your wide receivers, your offensive line. They've been playing great this half, and I expect them to really work and to get down the field here and just score to put it in the bag.
So I'd expect to see the onside kick here again. Looks like they're lining up for an onside kick. Knights are in the same formation they were on the last. And here it comes. And that ball is covered up. I believe that's Britton Tidwell. Britton Tidwell covers up that kick and ensures possession for Southern Virginia.
Yep, this is good for the Knights. You're in the Greensboro side of the field, if just barely, but you're on their side. So, like I said earlier, I would just look to score here. Really just seal the game up.
Just over 3 minutes remaining. Watson back to pass. And that is almost picked off.
Yeah, it looks like
Tyson Brown.
It looks like Watson had predetermined where he was going to throw it there. Didn't really make a read, just knew he wanted to throw it there. Got a little bit lucky it was underthrown.
Now you're in a situation where almost no time came off that clock, and you're 2nd and 10. And that is incomplete over the head of Smith Follow. So 3rd and 10, Knights.
It looks like they might be playing a little bit too hard to score here and not enough to shave some time off the clock. It's got to be a balance.
Watson once again in the shotgun. And Watson complete to Tariq Washington, and Washington is going to take that into the end zone. Touchdown, Southern Virginia.
Almost a disaster for SVU. Another just underthrown ball. So lucky with that tip to bounce right into the hands of the receiver.
Once again, that was Tyson Brown that made the play on that football. Through his hands and into the hands of Washington. And once Washington had that ball, he was able to walk into the end zone.
That might be a little series, those two plays that the Greensboro defender thinks about for a long time.
That was a big moment here. Fans from both sides holding their breath, thinking that maybe the interception was going to be made, which the Greensboro fans would have erupted with applause and would have heard a collective groan from the Southern Virginia side. Alex Passy connects on the extra point, and that takes the Knights out to a 35-22 lead here with just under 3 minutes remaining. So 7 more points on the board, but only about 15 seconds off the clock for that possession.
Yeah, if Greensboro can get down there real quick, you know, another 1-2 plays, it's almost like nothing happened. We're in the same position as we were at the last kickoff. But it's got to be fast for Greensboro. They don't have time to dawdle.
Yeah, they're going to have to move quickly. Scott DePay will kick it away. Greensboro to return. Sincere McIntyre takes it out to about the 33-yard line.
Yeah, Sincere McIntyre, he's averaging about 25 yards per return with a long of 44. So, you know, they had the space this time. They decided they wanted to kick it to him. I felt like they could take a chance with the defense. I mean, outside of that first return he had in the game, you know, he's done pretty good, but nothing like that first return.
So they mark it actually on the 32-yard line, so 68 yards is what Greensboro's going to be looking to go as quickly as they can. Pass out to KJ Brown, and he's driven out of bounds after a gain of about 7. Alex Passy there to make the play.
Once again, like we talked about earlier, the Knights, they should be fine. You know, they're okay with just giving up that short stuff, keeping them in front of them.
Altus looking downfield, and that pass will be incomplete. Thrown wide, intended for Privet. Altus, and that pass is dropped would have had the first down. Once again, that's Privet. Privet, though, he's had a heck of a ball game here. Made several catches. He's really been a workhorse for Greensboro today.
Yeah, he's done a really good job. And, being that workhorse, he's felt the physicality of the SVU defense, and, that might have gotten to him right there. Just ready for that impact, made him drop the ball.
So 4th and 4 for Greensboro. Altus, he's got a man once again looking for Privet, incomplete. And SVU will take over on downs at the Greensboro 38-yard line.
Yeah, it looked to me like that wide receiver could have had it. He just pulled in short. Maybe we're on the opposite side of the field. It could have been out of bounds. But good job by the defense, right?
Defense makes a stand there and gets the ball back. Looks like 2 minutes and 16 seconds left. So the Knight offense here, they just need to burn those final 2+ minutes.
Not all hope is lost for Greensboro, but it's looking pretty slim. They've got to, force a turnover or something big here.
Try and create a turnover. And that'll be a give to Antoine Mills.
Antoine Mills with the carry. Got down at the 38-yard line.
Gaining yardage is not necessarily the main goal here. Just maintaining possession and running the clock is what SVU is looking to do right here.
I mean, that's one thing that's kind of impressed me by Greensboro today is that they've really matched the physicality of the Knights of SVU. SVU 3-0, having the best season of, in the history of the program, but Greensboro hasn't shied down. They've kept it close the entire time and matched the physicality and just tried to get over that hump. But the SVU squad has just been too solid, too good, just caught momentum at the right times as well.
I would say even Greensboro set the tone for the aggressive play in the first half. And SVU, they had to figure out how they were going to match that after Greensboro had set a tone. But SVU, a lot of credit to them for going into the locker room at halftime and making some adjustments to come out in the second half and immediately put a score up on the board and also some strong defensive play.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Greensboro had that big kick return in the first quarter and then drove down the field and scored that field goal, put the first points up, and SVU had to reciprocate or else.
Second down, right at 2 minutes remaining. Another give to Mills, and he is brought down. A loss of 1, and Greensboro will spend a timeout. That is their final timeout of the game. So with 1:48 on the clock and a third down coming up, the Knights are in excellent position to go ahead and extend their historic opening of the season to 4 wins in a row.
Yeah, and here with, the third down play and then the punt, you can take almost a whole minute off the clock, leaving Greensboro with hardly any time to score even once.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for Greensboro to get this ball back with anything over a minute left.
Watson might just kneel it here.
Goes ahead and gives it to Mills one more time, and he's going to fight his way for about 4 yards. That'll bring up 4th and 7. The Knights will watch the play clock wind down. Looks like they're going to let the clock wind down and call a timeout in the last second before they line up to kick it away.
Yeah, I mean, big moments of the day is defensive turnovers. Knights, they've won the turnover battle, and even though Greensboro have almost 100 yards more on offense, 424 compared to the Knights, 334, that turnover battle was key today.
So you get that pick off, and the pick six by Tony Napper Jr. there. That's putting 6 points up on the board without any offensive production. But what that means momentum-wise, cannot be understated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even if you take those points off the board, it's a 6-point game, but the momentum it created was huge for the second half in whole, and the offense getting going as well.
Like we touched on that, that sequence right there where Tony Napper Jr. breaks up that play on 3rd and 4. They get the punt, they get a good punt return, and then 2 plays later, a penalty, and then the next play, Scott DePay gets that 69-yard touchdown. And, you come right back, and then Tony Napper Jr. gets the pick six, right away, right after that. So just, inside a minute probably, you have a lot of big plays there that really just turned the tide of this game. Passy sends the punt, and it's going to take an SVU bounce, and it is downed at the 11-yard line. Stevie Leo, once again, he's had a solid day on special teams. And Greensboro is left with 55 seconds on the clock. Faced with a near impossible task of scoring 2 touchdowns in that 55 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, you're just going to have to air it out. Just running verticals, stop and goes, anything to get deep, and it's hard after that great punt by Passy here at the 11.
Altus flushed from the pocket and has to just throw it away as he's being chased by Traden Henderson. Second and 10 for Greensboro. Altus once again under pressure, and he fires. It's caught. KJ Brown once again with the reception. Tackled by Britton Tidwell. Clock is rolling. 38 seconds remaining. Altus too far out in front of Trey Jones.
Yeah, he looked a little confused there. I mean, he to me, it looked like he wasn't quite running full speed, didn't think the ball was going to come to him.
Altus looking deep, and that pass will go off the hands and out of bounds of KJ Brown.
I mean, that's what I would be looking for. He's had a pretty good game, 5 receptions, 112 yards with a long of 78. That big run on their last drive. He's been their playmaker. That's who I'm looking for.
KJ Brown, Shamar Privet, Trey Jones, all had some good plays today for Greensboro. Altus dumps it off to Torrance Kelly. 22 seconds remaining. And this is 4th down. 4th and 4 to go for Greensboro. Altus's pass broken up once again, and who else? Tony Napper Jr.
What a game.
We have said his name multiple times. And just going back to the sequence that we talked about just a minute ago, a great breakup on 3rd and 4 in that 3rd quarter, and then the next defensive possession, he gets the pick 6. So Tony Napper Jr. has had a great game on the defensive side for Southern Virginia. And again, we talk about the youth of that defense. He's just a sophomore.
Yeah, very exciting. You know, we touched on this a little bit before the game as well. Just they're top defensive unit in the nation, but they work as a team. There's no top individuals.
And there we get to see the favorite play in the playbook, victory formation, as SVU runs the clock out to complete and continue their historic start. They make a run of 4-0 to begin this season. A lot of excitement surrounding this program as Coach DePay, now in his 4th season here, been working hard and has been talking, you know, for the last month and a half about all the hard work that him and his coaching staff have put in. Also, you know, this group of young men right here really putting out there, really buying in to what Coach DePay wants to do, and they're seeing the fruits of their labor come to fruition right now as they begin 4-0.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just the team, but the whole campus, the whole community, they feel that it's energizing us. It's been super exciting to watch. The football games, they're packed, and there's just support here. You know, it was a close game there for a little bit, right? Could have gone either way, but the backing and the support of the school, right? They see how hard this program is working, how hard these guys are working out there on the field to get better, to be at their best level, and they come out here and they support. And that energy is felt by, you know, both sides, both the team and the fans, the campus.
No, really, that first half today and into the 3rd quarter was the first time since the opener against Apprentice School where they've faced any adversity. You know, they were never down against Apprentice School, but it was a close game into the half, and then they came out in the second half and played well. This time, you know, they were down 9-7 going into the half, and they made the necessary adjustments. So Coach DePay has to be happy with the way his team has responded here today to come out in the second half and really dominate the play to take this victory 35-22 over Greensboro.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. There's that adversity, like this is a tough first conference game. It's a tough opponent, right? This is where you see where your players are made out of, what your team can do. And they didn't back down. They stepped up. They took the challenge. Like you had mentioned, Greensboro almost came out and set that tone. And the Knights, they came out, they matched, and then into the second half, they exceeded it.
No, absolutely. Like you mentioned, a lot of excitement for the campus. You know, there's a lot of success, you know, that the athletic department has here at Southern Virginia, and everybody was just on the edge, just begging the football program to be able to come out and have a start like this, and, you know, and show that competitive drive and really battle. And now here we see the team down there celebrating this victory and this start. So hats off to Coach DePay and his coaching staff and these young men that have worked so hard and fought to get these 4 victories to open up the season. You know, they'll go on the road next week and return here in 2 weeks for a homecoming game, which I'm sure campus is going to be excited to have. You know, that team coming back for a homecoming game in a season where, you know, they have a winning record, undefeated to this point. So we'll go ahead, and we want to thank everybody once again for joining this broadcast, Knights Broadcasting. Always want to invite you to like, comment, or subscribe to the page. And we will be back here tonight at 7 p.m. as the men's soccer team takes on NC Wesleyan. NC Wesleyan is the preseason favorite to win the conference championship, but those Southern Virginia Knights men's soccer players, they have come on strong here in conference, so expect a great match tonight against the Battling Bishops of NC Wesleyan. Once again, thanks for joining us on the broadcast. I'm Colby Kemp for Hank Swedeen, inviting you to join us again later on. And as always, go Knights.